Welcome back, Muffin. You need to look at information that nobody else is looking at. You know, in crypto, there's over 22,000 altcoins. They are all fighting for your attention and your money. And your socks! They want your fluffy socks! So you got to calm down and you got to think with me. While most of crypto, they're checking out the latest narrative, you know. They're looking at here. There's AI, artificial intelligence, and everyone's talking about, oh, the Fed, FOMC, are they going to hike? Are they going to cut? What's going on? What's coming next? Interest rates, the stock market, up, down, left, right. While everyone's talking about that, you've got to be looking at new information because everybody is reading that information in the news that you can access and they're digesting it and they're constantly pricing it in. Okay? That mainstream information, it hits most people and they price it in, man. There's no edge there. There's no edge. You got to get for something new. My friend sent me the Lex Fridman interview with Charles Hoskinson, who's the founder of Cardano, ticker ADA. And I have, of course, I already watched it. And something caught my attention here. Look at this. Look at this. Charles was able to keep Lex Fridman for 5 whole hours, friends. 5 whole hours, okay? Isn't that amazing? 5 whole hours. Think. You have to think about that. You know? I've watched this. You don't have to watch it. Right? Look at this. Look at the duration, man. 5 whole hours. I want you to observe the next 100 million people in your mind coming into crypto. Just use your brain. Think of them coming in. Who are they going to gravitate towards? I think they're going to split off to many different places, right? Different cities. Everyone's trying to form their own religion. They're trying to find a home. But have a think about the possibilities that Cardano can achieve if Charles can keep Lex Fridman there for 5 hours. And consider him to be one of the most fascinating interviews he's ever done. Okay? You have to think about that. So, don't think the message of this video is go order buy Cardano. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I will shed some light. Okay? I did buy Cardano back in the previous bear market. Okay? And then I sacrificed it for PulseX, I think, around here. So, I guess I got the whole move. You know, looking back, I got the whole move. But I'm telling you now, it looks like I got the whole move only because you're looking at it from down here. But if you actually look at what happened, I mean, we were down. You didn't feel nice, friends. You were down, 60% from the top. I felt like a failure. But look at this move, you know. So this is why it's so important. Whether you're buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hex, Chainlink, Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, whatever layer 1 chain you want to get, whatever gaming, whatever the metaverse, you have to get it in the depression. Because one day you're going to be looking back and you're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I took most of the meat of the move. Okay? You got to try get in here. I don't like assuming that you can get the very, very bottom part, okay? I'm just going to assume you got conned and you got to get up here. But hey, that's still pretty good. And then you got to get out here. Look at that. Look at that hockey stick. You got to get out here by the end of the year, okay? So, look how Charles was able to keep Lex Fridman there for 5 hours. That is information for you to digest, okay? Because Cardano doesn't have the most users. It doesn't have the best tech. Everyone calls it a ghost chain, vapor chain. But the community there is special. If you watch my Hex Ladies video, there's actually a mention of Cardano. There are Cardano ladies. One of them's called Ada Angels. There are Cardano ladies. It's very rare for a crypto community to have a female community section there, right? There's Bitcoin ladies. There are esteemed different Bitcoin females, right? Ethereum has some cat ladies. I'm sure there's more. I haven't looked too much deeply into it. Okay? Couldn't find any on Doge. Some weird stuff comes up if you try to look for girls with dogs, by the way. So don't do that. XRP couldn't find it. Cardano had some girls, man. I like that. That's interesting, isn't it? Hex blows everyone out of the water. Hex ladies, love them. They're great. They are the angels to me. But just take notice of this, man. And I'll share with you more information. There is a crossover of hexagons. I've noticed after watching so many streamers, getting to get a feel for everyone. There's a crossover. A lot of them actually own Cardano or owned it in the previous bull market. So they either bought it or they own it now. There's something about them, man. I think Richie Hart is like the Americanized version of the leader that Charles is. Charles is more raise the intellect, talk a bit more, you know. That doesn't, not saying Richie's not smart. Richie's obviously super intelligent. It's just, you know, you got a bell curve, friends. You know, you got a bell curve, right? We all know, man, if you want to speak like Einstein physics, no one's going to understand you. But if you drop it down, everyone can understand you, okay? Think about Donald Trump, for example, the language he was using. I remember like everyone was saying, oh, Donald Trump has only got like second grade school language. Okay, yeah, but he can talk to everyone. Are you forgetting this bell curve, man? In an IQ, you know, half the people are below 100. Think about that. Half the people are below 100. Half the people are not spending more than 30 minutes about what coin to buy next. They're looking at the ticker and the logo. Hey, look at this community coming in and coming out. Woohoo, I'm in. See ya. Okay, so Charles was able to keep Lex there for 5 hours. I got this in the previous bear market. So I'm not biased, or I'm not biased at all. I'm completely unbiased. There's only one thing I'm thinking about, man. Cardano had a pump 100x here, okay? That's cycle 1. There will be a 1 here, okay? And now this was cycle 2, okay? So if you know anything about me, you know I am very scared of the third cycle. So yes, Cardano is going to enter into its third cycle, which is going to be 2025 here. So third cycle. I don't know what price it's going to be, you know. Are we going to disappoint? Are we going to $2.60, right? Are we going to go here? Or are we going to like be a complete friend and go to $10? I'm scared, man. I don't know. It's a third cycle. Don't limit yourself with the third cycle. But it's something for us to learn, okay? Because I'm here showing you information no one's talking about. Like, wow, he kept him there for 5 hours. He kept somebody who's interviewed so many people. Like Lex Fridman interviews people. I'll watch all the UFO ones because I love UFO talk. But man, there's just some people I'm like, oh man, this person's just way too smart. I understand like 3 words. The, and like gravity. You know, and then we just got to skip videos. But Charles was able to really, I don't know what it is, man. He knows how to talk. Now, me being unbiased, let's put that aside, okay? I'll use other words here. The word is manipulate, groom, massage. That's the words you got to do. That's what you got to do as a leader, man. A politician does the same. You got to move a large amount of people. So, if you are watching the ADA USD chart, you're watching the wrong chart. You have to be watching the ADA ETH chart. See, here's Charlie, Chuck. So, this is Cardano versus Ethereum. It's very interesting. The market prices Cardano as a range oscillator compared to Ethereum, okay? See, it comes up and it comes down, okay? It likes to sit in this range. Now, I don't know what the future holds, but, you know, Cardano's market cap is like a certain small percentage of Ethereum, and it seems to hover around. They're both proof of stake. It's very interesting, man. It really is. So, the tops of these ranges, they're not the greatest, friends. I know, like, you got to sell the absolute Pico top. And you got to buy the bottom of the range. And you're only going to get a 4x. Like, the bottom to the top, man. And then you got to get out straight away. So, you didn't look at these, friends. You don't know what's going on here, man. Like, it was all over crypto banter. And everyone's talking about Cardano. You know, you're like, okay, next stop. This is what I thought. Okay, next stop. We're going to get another double here. And then I'm out. And look what happened. Fart. Right on your face. It's going to be, I think there is a, is there a wind blowing? Damn, it's on the other emoji keyboard. Okay, there's no fart emoji. You're just going to have to do a wind blowing emoji. You know, and look, it comes right back down, man. So, I still think there's a time and place for this. However, remember that Cardano did get a main narrative attention in 2021. So, I would like to own it. This is really cool to know. that Charles was able to keep Lex Friedman there for 5 hours, and everyone calls it a ghost chain and it does nothing. It's got no adoption. No one likes it. Still relevant. Still around. There's Cardano females. Okay. And I'll tell you from firsthand, when crypto crashes and I'm feeling down and depressed, Charles will make a video, and I swear I'm only like watching the first 20% of it, but it's soothing. He makes you feel good, like the industry's still growing. You know, we have lessons to learn. He's a caretaker with his language. It's so powerful, man. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right. You know, when crypto crashes, you know, Richard Hart comes out and says, I told you. You lost all your money. You should have listened to me. You're an idiot. You're a dum-dum. You know, it's just two different approaches. It doesn't really matter what they say, to be honest. It's that they're relevant. That's the important part, okay? But he's soothing, man. Charles is soothing. So, if you're long Cardano, you can't do anything except hold, right? You're probably in, maybe you're in for the whole year and next year, right? And you got to decide for yourself, at what point do you get out? Maybe you got to get out here. Maybe you get out on 4x versus Ethereum. So if you want to calculate this price, by the way, right? See how this is ADA versus ETH ratio, right? So on the far right, 0.3094. Let's say Ethereum gets to $9,000, 0.94. Okay, and then if Ethereum is $10,000, you're gonna get a $9.40 Cardano. Woo! Wouldn't that be a nice bull trap if we stop right there and that's the top? Okay, so yeah, if you're long Cardano and you don't want to get out, more the power to you, man. You're literally at the bottom of this range, like right here. But I'm just letting you know, you're going to be in for a ride. Okay, so I obviously have my weight in Hex and Pulse Chain in that regards, and I sacrificed the Cardano for Pulse Chain just because it's going to be cycle 1, starting off a lower base, less exposure. And as well, many big influencers, they revealed Cardano to everyone so many times. You know, Crypto Banter, you got Altcoin Daily, you got BitBoy talking about him all the time. Millions and millions and millions of people, it's there, right? And it's still, think about this, friends. They shill it all the time, almost weekly, and it still did this. All right? It still did that. Okay, let's go back to the ADA USD chart. So I just want you to know, shilling is not enough to stop the coin going down 92%. Okay? It's not enough. Shilling is not enough. It's a cycle. You need a whole new wave of people coming in. You need a network to keep growing. And unfortunately, once buyers run out, okay, when buyers are coming in, you know, and then they're slowly like disappearing. I'm just doing sideways here, right? This is no more buyers, right? When that happens, unfortunately, the only way for it to reverse is just for the market to go down so low that you get rid of sellers. That's it. You've gotten rid of all the sellers. That's the only way for it to start going up and the cycle to continue. So we've looked at Cardano. There is some edge here. Okay. How much risk do you want to take? So at this point, it's not that risky, man. It's not that risky, but your reward's not going to be like entirely big. But hey, man, I know people, you know, they got like 250K in it. That's okay. You got 250K in Cardano and you want to sell it at, you know, a 10x, man. All the power to you. All the power to you. 10 or a 20x. That's okay, man. You make 2 to 4 mil if this works out. You know, but for the rest of you guys, you're going to need more than a 10x. You have to take more risk. But not like, hey, give me risk for the sake of risk. You have to take risk other places, right? You got to take risk where you're like, all right, I need something that can give me a higher upside. That people are calling a Ponzi and a scam, and Richard Hart's a scammer, and Pulse Chain isn't going to launch, and the liquidity is lower. You get what I mean, okay? You're going to have to seek more of those. Now, if I come across stuff like Hex, obviously I'm going to share it with you guys, but at this point right now, it's very hard to find, you know, the real communities who are going to be there, because the standouts are there. There's not too many of these, man. They're so rare. They're really, really so rare. And it's relative, right? There's only a few things on top. And that's it, okay? So, have a think about this. If you're holding Cardano, there's nothing wrong. Just be prepared for more time. If you want a DCA, do it. If your bags are packed, then just explore other coins, other networks. You got to know what you're in for. You know, Ethereum's going to probably take over. You're probably going to be like irrelevant, kinda, for a year, and then you're going to be relying on perhaps the bull run comes, perhaps, you know, and then you guys maybe have a shot again, and you're gonna be watching this chart. Okay, I'm just letting you know, you should definitely be watching this chart, because if people come in and they get to buy Cardano at $5 to $10, and you are buying, and they are buying in this ratio for you, effectively what you should be doing, okay, this is you should offload risk back into Ethereum up here. So at this point, you want to get back your Ethereum here, right? So let's say you had a portfolio like 10 Ethereum worth in Cardano. Let's say you had $16,000 of a Cardano. Well, that's 10 Ethereum worth. Up here, that would be about a 4x. So it would be 40 ETH. Your portfolio section of Cardano would be worth 40 Ethereum. All right. And at that point, you're going to have to decide how much you want to get out. Because look, Doge did this same pattern, but guess what it did? Doge went like this. All right. But Doge is a special case. It's not the rule. All right. It was the exception. Okay. So if you're looking at 40 ETH up here and you get to rotate into a blue chip winner, that's something you have to think about. Knowing that this thing has oscillated before. But, I don't want to jinx it. Mate, what if this goes like this? You're never going to forgive yourself. So decide how much you want. If it was me, and you're saying, hey, water pistol to my head, you're going to squirt me in the face if I don't give you the right answer, I think you should get out half no matter what. Get back your 20 ETH at that point, put it in like staking up there and just sit, But you might also say, hey man, like what if Ethereum is around 10 to 12K? You don't want to even rotate to ETH. Maybe you think that's too high. So that's just something you're going to have to live with, man. Like everybody is concerned with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and where they're going to stop, okay? Eventually that game's going to end and people are going to get tricked again. In 2017, what happened was the bull run lasted the whole year. So I'm going to show you this right now. So the bull run lasted the whole year, friends. So what happened was Bitcoin broke the high here. See this high? Bitcoin broke the high and it went on a run and then it stopped, okay? Here we go. It stopped. So Bitcoin broke the run. It actually started, stopped, started, stopped. So the altcoins ran and then they stopped around mid of the year. And then Bitcoin continued here, but the altcoins didn't move. And then alts went absolutely ballistic at the end. Okay, so there were two legs here. That's why we all got scammed in 2021. There was only one leg. So I just want you to know. Okay, see these two rectangles? There were two legs of alt seasons. So if you thought, let's say you're in Ethereum, right? For example, because Cardano wasn't out here yet. Let's say you're in Ethereum, and then ETH BTC went up. So you're like, oh wow, I turned one Bitcoin into 10 Bitcoin using Ethereum, right? I converted it to ETH and I got 10 Bitcoin back. If you say you think that Bitcoin's run is done, you would have been getting out at $3,000, all right? And then it went to 20. Okay, so you're gonna have to live with that. So that's why everybody up here thought the same thing. Bitcoin had its first leg up, all right, and then alts came, and then everyone thought Bitcoin was gonna keep continuing the whole year, and then alts have a big run at the end. It didn't happen at all. Did not happen at all. It was literally just one run. Bitcoin just had literally one run. This was it. And then that's the Bitcoin dominance going down. Bitcoin dominance did this thing. That part of the Bitcoin dominance going down, that is this part going here. Yeah. And then that was it. So that's why many people, when they took profits, if you quote unquote knew what you were doing, they rotated into Bitcoin. Okay? They rotated into Bitcoin because they're like, well, maybe the next leg's going to take Bitcoin. Like, in 2013, there was a double wave. Same as 2017, there was a double wave. Start, stop, start, stop. Everyone thought in 2021, yes, the second wave is going to take Bitcoin to between 100 to 200K. Everybody thought this was happening. So everyone who rotated into Bitcoin, everyone thought they were doing that, right? If you go on Twitter, I think the 3AC guys, they were talking about the Bitcoin dominance narrative and all these other stuff. That's where that was coming from. It's because they thought everyone's going to go to Bitcoin now. It's going to get the final wave of Wall Street, and then they all dump. And the unfortunate part is, no, there was no final wave. You are the final wave. That's what you got to understand. When you hear other people speaking about one more final wave to do this, be warned, because that means you're the final wave, okay? If you hear whispers of people thinking, oh, I'm going to get in now and dump on the suckers in the future, and you've been like throughout a bull run, that's sound the alarms, because it usually means it's the end, okay? So you can play that game with Cardano, So, you know, you have some edge with Cardano. It's relevant. It stays up there. It depends. Opportunity cost. Are you going to be okay sitting in the background with other narratives forming? And you're going to have to pray that the Cardano developers make something on Cardano that, you know, you're going to maybe be just copy pasting what the Ethereum guys do. So that's the risk threshold you take. That's the world you're going to have to live in if you hold. And remember, I'm not saying anything bad here or good. It's just this is the picture you're looking at. It's cheap. Of course it's cheap. But, you know, if you look at before, cheap can last quite some time. So if you're prepared for it, I'll see you guys in 2025. Until next time.